Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Today has actually been a very, very busy day, but we've been getting a couple of breaking news stories, and this is actually a story that one of our news reporters and meteorologists have been following very, very closely, and hopefully we'll be able to get to the bottom of this. I'm not quite sure, but our staff meteorologist and our reporter, Eric Tallman, has been following up on the road situation and transportation and funding for our roads, because I know that he had a whole bunch of concerns about the potholes, and the other thing that we're wondering about now is about, are they going to be able to get them fixed, because I know that I was out in the metro area today, and I think we'll be having a private review with him off camera, and we'll be able to discuss things further. But furthermore, we're going to listen in on what the Now Detroit on WXYZ Channel 7.com has to say about this story, and then we'll have much more on this as we continue to follow the coverage on whether or not if we're going to get funding to cover these roads and get them fixed. And this is the report that we found out today, since that they're fighting over transportation road funding.
Right now, there is a heated debate in Lansing about how Michigan should fix our state's broken roads.
Yeah, since the massive defeat of Proposal 1, we've seen several options presented to increase funding for our roads, but there is another crucial source of funding that is hanging in the balance right now, and that is money from Washington, D.C.
Now, Congress only has a few days left to approve a short-term extension for the Highway Trust Fund. Last year, Michigan got more than $1 billion from the fund. That money helps fund state and local projects, some of which could be in jeopardy if it isn't extended.
In fact, in a letter to Alabama's Transportation Director, the U.S. Transportation Secretary, Anthony Fox, said a delay in funding means reimbursements on road projects would be halted completely.
This is not the first time, though, we've seen this fight over transportation funding. The Detroit News reports Congress has passed 23 short-term fixes for highway spending in the last 6 years. And that has a lot of people calling for a permanent solution to stop this scare from happening so frequently.
Joining us now to discuss this, Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence from Southfield. And first of all, Congressman, I think people would be stunned that any money is going to fix our roads in Michigan. But here we stand to lose, how much, $1 billion in federal funding if you guys don't get this thing passed?
You know, it's disappointing. Being a mayor and now being a congresswoman, I clearly understand the need for federal dollars. Here we are in America, and we're seeing bridges collapsing, an unfortunate tragedy with our trains, and we're talking about a short term again. It is time for Congress to do the work, stop kicking the can down the road. We need to invest in our infrastructure. And there's a path to this. We had, you know, President Obama's the Grow America Act. We could approve that, which would infuse billions of dollars into our infrastructure, and it's needed.
Obviously, a long-term solution would be the answer here, but seeing that that probably is not going to happen by the end of the week, can you talk about the likelihood of even a short-term solution happening by the end of the week, and how long would it extend funding this time?
We're talking about a short-term being brought to the floor that would go till July 31st. My objective and what I'm saying in our leadership is that approving this should come with a strong directive to both houses that we must sit down at the table and work to get a real comprehensive transportation bill. It's causing lives now. It is not acceptable. We need to do the work and fund it so that we can plan out. Because when we do short term, what that does, it does not allow cities and municipalities to plan for the future, because they only have enough money for the project today.
And you would know that better than others with your role as former mayor.
Can you give us a little look then in real numbers, having been there on the other side of this, what does the picture look like for Michigan if Congress doesn't get this together and get this funding, federal funding to it?
The biggest impact, and you know, if I can paint this picture, so we have roads that we have identified and graded, and so this road is a grade D, so it must be repaired. Well, guess what? There's a D, there's a C, there's a B, and we plan out so that this year we'll fix the B's, Next year we'll fix the C's. But with the funding being short term, we can only say today we'll fix the D's. And then as the roads continue to deteriorate, there's a growing number of D's, and we can't fix them. And that's why we're in a crisis right now, because we only can plan for today and the money that we have today, because we don't have the ability to plan out and to be able to tell the voters that your tax dollars will fix these roads. We really can't say that.
We don't have a lot of time left. If you could just answer this real quickly. Today we mentioned that President Obama issued a ban on some military-style equipment for local police. If we could switch gears, do you think that this can help local police and community members better get along?
You know, what the president is saying is that to get some of the military equipment, which is needed in policing, it has to come with community policing programs, diversity training, and I'm very much in support of that. There are some elements of what we classify as military equipment that we need for different elements. Some of it I would push back and say we don't need, but I strongly support the president saying that we need to tie some expectations that if you're going to get this equipment, you should have your police trained in diversity awareness. Community policing should be a priority.
Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence from Southfield, welcome to our show here on The Now. Good to see you in Washington.